What's up, guys? So today I'm just going to do a voiceover, um, and what I want to go over is just how to burnish your pottery, and what burnishing is. So burnishing is pretty much like polishing. You're compacting, you're compacting your pottery, the clay in your pottery, so that it gets more like smooth, almost like a gloss. And it kind of acts almost like a sealant. I think it makes it harder for water to absorb after you fired it, and it just gives it a nice look. I mean, I really like the feel of it. I like the look of it. Um, and there's a few different ways you can do it. So I've seen some people that wait until they get their clay almost bone dry, and then they'll either put water or oil on it, and they'll do what I'm doing, where they get a stone and rub it across the surface. And you can see where I'm pointing at on there. It almost looks glossy right there. It doesn't look chalky. So for that, you would use some sort of oil or water, and wet down the surface of wherever you're going to burnish it at, and you would rub a smooth stone against it. And they say the smoother that you want your burnishing, the smoother the stone needs to be. So if you can find pretty much the smoother the stone, the better. You don't want anything really gritty or really coarse, and that's why you'll see me using my fingernail in this video, because um, I feel like my fingernail during certain stages are really good to use. And this clay was a little bit softer here also. Um, a little bit softer than it should have been. It should be around leather hard or a little bit harder than leather hard whenever you burnish it with the stone. But the fingernail really does it. My fingernail really does it good here, so I just use my fingernail to really smooth and show you guys just like how glossy and um, just how smooth it can really get, how sleek the feeling of it is. But yeah, that's really all burnishing is. You're just polishing your pottery. You're making it nice and shiny. And uh, the only thing else that I would say about burnishing is that if you burnish, you really don't want to put a glaze over your burnishing, just because it'll take away from the effect of the burnish. So if you're doing like low fire pottery or pit firings, I would stick with the burnish because it'll have a nice effect to it. And low fire burnings aren't really for glazing, so you can get away with doing cool different burnishing designs, like maybe make some patterns that are burnished and some that aren't, um, and give it that kind of cool effect to it. But I just burnished the half of this pot, and then I end up firing this later. And I try and put glaze on the top where I didn't burnish it, and then on the bottom I keep it smooth and burnished like that without any glaze on it. And um, I couldn't get the glaze hot enough to melt and vitrify onto the pottery. So right now I'm in the process of making a kiln that hopefully will get up to higher temperatures, so I can eventually start doing some glaze videos for you too, and working with natural glazes, ash glazes, stuff like that, that I can show you how to make. But burnishing is definitely a good way to liven up your pottery, give it more character, and just give it a nice feel to it.